Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Money Markets. And today it is the first episode of Africa Global Economic News Report. We are actually, looking into, the global economy news in only in Africa. What exactly is happening in Africa, and trying to look, what stocks and what investment can be able to be made here in the motherland here in Africa. So the Africa Bulletin, African Continental Free Trade Areas, we provide with a latest news and the updates in terms of the global Africa economic, movement or events. The biggest news that comes this week in terms of the Africa global economy is Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, and the Barroso Agreement signal to new era of cross-border cooperation in Africa. So what actually doing it, they're actually talking to Africa Energy Chamber to so that all these presidencies from different countries like Guinea and Equatorial Guinea and the Cameroon to come together so that they can find a specific a way to solve the energy problem that they're facing in East Africa. So this talk were happening in actually in Johannesburg. It was March 2023. That was happening in Economic and Monitoring Committee of Central Africa, COMIC, which is the committee that deals about the energy in Africa. And the pretty much the story is the Africa Energy Chamber EAC as the voice of Africa energy sector celebrate and support the signing of the Barito Treaty between Equatorial Guinea and Cameroon. The Chamber is also confident that the agreement will unlock a new era of cooperation, with the agreement saving a blueprint for other African countries looking at a strategic knowledge sharing, skills, technologies, transfer infrastructures development, including oil and gas maximization in Africa. So this is a really, really positive news to see two countries come together to collaborate so that they can actually, improve the energy problem or the energy issues that we are actually facing here in Africa. We saw South Africa having a huge, huge, huge problem with energy, low shedding, hitting South Africa, and it impacted, the economy of South Africa a lot. A lot of people we saw, unemployment, increasing because of all these issues that we are seeing with energy. So not only that, there was also next door neighbor topic that comes. It was about in Zimbabwe. So they said Zimbabwe opens for the business. That says the president of Republic of Zimbabwe, Mnangagwa. The president Mnangagwa spoke on last week Thursday, on a special event of Mighties of Africa Investment Forum. To say that okay, we are all welcome to actually do business, with the Zimbabweans and go to Zimbabwe and invest. The only challenge is we saw the documentary of Gold Mafia, what happened there in Zim. So I'm not sure how actually, in terms of investors from all over the world, how are they going to come in, to the country while they're seeing that type of, media exposure about the gold mafia. But there's a lot of opportunities that people can go there, the investors can go there and actually invest in mining, in farming, in the different types of sectors in that republic. So that, at the end of the day, we all want to push the Africa to grow, so that our next generation to come can be able to enjoy this continent. And again, there was another big topic again that comes in South Africa: the unintended consequences of most favored national clauses in tax treaties. So the chairman of Tax Association, Francis Meyerbeck, candidate attorney overseen by various sub-and pattern ahead of tax banker Mackenzie Johannesburg, backgrounded tax treaties are mainly based in Republic of South Africa. So in fact, the news here is about the tax revenue of Republic of South Africa. They had new ways of actually, putting in, implementing it in South Africa so that South Africa can be able to keep on saving money, and that can help. to push unemployment, or again can help to solve the issue of energy that the country actually going in. So there's a different types of big topic in terms of the global Africa economy that actually it's happening. ECA inaugurated the fourth edition of Africa Climate Talks. So the Africa Climate Talks is also continuing talking. People they want to change how we live in terms of Africa climate, in terms of climate change, and we saw a lot of floods coming in different areas in Africa hitting us because of the climate is changing, and we need to come up with a different type of implementations of how to solve this new type of climate. If you we, how many floods have been hitting different types of Africa? We saw in Devon, we saw countries like Malawi, Zimbabwe, Mozambique hitting in a big floods and destroying a lot of places where people live, and where people do their businesses. So that's the biggest also news to keep an eye on it, to keep focus on it, so that we see at the end of this tunnel. The other biggest news is the United States trying to invest in Africa. We saw United States fighting with China and Russia in terms of which will be the biggest investor in Africa. So already US have spent over $50 billion to actually spending in Zambia, and Zambia, Tanzania, and Cameroon, I think, and Kenya as well, in terms of investing in mine sector, so that they can be able to benefit on that. So the talks is that they keep on saying that Africa we still have a lot of mineral salts that haven't been touched, and everyone else from all over they want to come here to get a piece of what we have. So those are the big topics that we're seeing this morning in terms of the Africa talk, and keep on watching it. We'll definitely bring a little bit of more in terms of the global market of Africa. Watch the Daily Money Market and subscribe.